be describing the characteristics of a flower. And we're also going to be building a model of a flower and labeling its parts. Now, let's talk about how our lesson today is connected to what we've learned previously, all right? We've been working as what kind of people? Researchers. And we've been really diving in deep and learning new details about plants, right?
Yes.
Okay. Today, when I said we were going to be describing the characteristics of a flower, we're going to be using the same strategies to find some details in the text that we used on our models that are already up on the board. All right? Hey, class?
Hey, yes.
And we're also going to be using what we've learned to build a flower and label it. Now, we've learned about diagrams previously, haven't we?
Yes.
But we've learned that diagrams don't really do their job unless they have those little labels. The picture captions, Nora, we've talked about how sometimes they can be very similar. But on a diagram, we call those that are pointing to parts labels. All right, everybody's with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay, we've read this Plants Around the World poem before. All right, we're going to go back and reread today, and I would like for everyone to read orally with Miss Aycock. With me? All together, right, Dakota? All right, now Miss Aycock's going to be using her special hand gesture that we've learned before. This is for a
Compound
compound word. So as we read and we get to a compound word, what are you going to show me?
The compound word.
I like it. All right, hey class.
Hey, yes.
Eyes up on the board. All right, we followed along on the board before. Now remember, I want you to be noticing your compound words. All right, everybody, look. Hey class.
Hey, yes.
Look at the board, right? Okay, get ready.
Many plants around the world need similar things to grow. Wildflowers, evergreens, and many more you know. Indoors in a flower pot or outdoors in the ground, all plants need things to grow the whole year round. Some plants give us vegetables and fruits we love so much, like watermelon, blackberries, jicama, and such. Pea pods and soybeans come from plants too. So do peaches, buttercups, and berries that are blue. What is your favorite plant? What does it need to grow? Let's look inside our books and learn all we need to know. You're good. Oh, there's something else I wonder that I really want to say. Have you ever seen a hummingbird live on wildflowers many times a day? Or watched a honeybee stop on sunflowers, then buzz, buzz, buzz away? Hey class? Hey, yes.
That was excellent. And you want to know why it was excellent? Because you read how?
Fluently.
Which is reading smoothly, right? And I heard a lot of you reading with expression. Excellent. Okay, let's talk about this hand signal. Somebody give me a thumb and tell me, why did we use this hand signal while reading the poem? Dakota, why did we use the compound word hand signal?
Because we put two words together to make one new word.
That's exactly right. So each one of these hands stands for a word by itself. What do we do? We put them together. Oh, Carson, show me the compound words, the hand signal. Thank you. Remember we took two different words, joined them together to make one new word. Hey class,
Yes.
let's look at our chart that we put together in a previous lesson. I want you to think about the strategy that we used. We took that compound word apart, thought about the meaning of each word, and we figured out the meaning of a brand new word. That's right. Okay? I want you to think first about, what does the word sunshine mean? I want you to think first about, what does the word sunshine mean? Think in your head for a second. What? Think about taking it apart. What? I want you to turn and talk to your partner first about what sunshine means. Okay, all right. Can you, Emma, can you say what you're thinking back to Ava? But remember, in our definition, we want to use the two words from our compound word, right? You guys are finished? I like how you turned back around like this. Okay, class?
Yes.
Excellent. I heard right here when they were finished. They turned right back around with hands and eyes. All right, Emma, can you share with us, please, what does sunshine mean?
Sunshine means the light of the sun.
The light, or can we even say the light?
From the sun.
What?
Shining?
The light shining from the sun. Do you see how we took those two words and figured out the meaning? Sunshine means light
From the sun.
shining from the sun. Remember, in our strategy, we like to use both of the different words. Okay, class?
Yes.
That's better. Thank you. Alright, now, we have practiced in our previous lessons using the table of contents. What kind of work does that help us to do? How are we working? Efficiently. That means
Not wasting much time.
not wasting time. So let's open those texts up to our table of contents. Our table of contents. Very nice. And I want you to find the chapter Flowers Bloom. Find the chapter Flowers Bloom. I know that y'all are already familiar with the table of contents because we've used it for several lessons, but practice makes better. Okay. Well, Ariana, what chapter does the same clock say? Flowers Bloom. There you go. Thank you, sir. Alright. Now that we've found our chapter Flowers Bloom, we're actually going to be reading that chapter. There we go, Ava. Whoa. Get down for a second. We're going to be reading this chapter. Oh, Carson, buddy, it's not quite time to read yet. Okay? We're going to be reading this chapter and the next chapter, Sticky Pollen, with a partner first. Is everybody with me? Alright, you're going to be reading with your partner first. Then we will reread it together as a group. Oh, hey, class.
Yes.
Miss Aycock was still speaking. Right? Okay? You're going to take turns reading with your partner like we've done in previous lessons. We'll gather back together to reread it, and then we're going to answer some questions using our text. All right. Now, I'm setting a timer. Get started reading with your partner. Oh, I like how you're reading fluently. Very good. Excellent. That's reading with expression, Alright, have we already read both chapters? Now I want you to make a read it one more time, okay? I know they start calling rendition What are we reading? Are those tracking fingers that are set? Alright, hey class? Huh? Good job, Carson. Way to be efficient. Quick sum, if you read both chapters already. We were still working, ladies? Hey, I'm going to give 1 extra minute. So, guys, you know to stay productive, right? Okay? 1 extra minute. Okay, now read the book. know some of you thought that the joke at the top of the page was funny after you read. It's fine that you read it, but hey, let's get back to business, right? My last table, we're good? Alright, hey class.
Yes.
Before we go to answer those text-dependent questions, let's read those 4 pages together as a class. Well, Miss Aycock will call on people. Alright, and then we will answer our questions after we've reread. Whoop. I'm calling on people. Hands down. Alright, turn back to page 18. Carson, I did like though how I heard you reading with expression, and so many others. When y'all saw that exclamation point, I heard so many of you say, surprise! I loved it. Excellent. Okay, so let's keep that in mind as we read as a whole group. Page 18, Carson. Page 18. There we go. Well, you get it? There's that there. Right, oh, hey class. Tracking fingers, page 18. Alright, I'm going to be calling people to read different paragraphs. Alright? Ava, can you read the first paragraph, please? The very first one on page 18. There you go. Good partner work.
Plants grow flowers.
Excellent. Alright, the second paragraph, Sydney. Excellent. Third paragraph on that page, Ryder.
The bud slowly opens, petals.
Alright, so it started as, what do we call this?
A
A bud. And then it opens up into a flower. Alright, there we go. We're on page 19. Let's see. Alexis, can you read page 19 for us?
Surprise, it's a flower.
I like that. Surprise! Reading fluently, right? Okay, go ahead and turn.
Hi, bud.
Alright, Lila, can you read the first paragraph on page 20? Just the first paragraph. Just the first.
Flowers make a sticky powder called
Excellent. Demora, can you read the second paragraph, please?
pollen sticks to birds and bees when they fly from flower to flower.
So is it important that pollen is sticky?
Yes.
Yes, it's very important, right? Okay, Carson, last page, buddy, you're up. Okay, Carson, now you're up. Oh,
Other flowers, this is called pollination. Pollination. It helps flowers make seeds.
excellent. What helps flower make seeds? What's that process called?
Pollination.
A very important process that we're actually, in our future learning, going to learn a lot more about. Hey, class?
Yes.
Stay with me, please. All right, Miss Aycock, I know that these pages are in your workbook, but Miss Aycock is going to collect these, all right, to assess what we're learning today, to see if we remembered the details and used our text correctly to write the details. So I'm going to quickly pass out this workbook page. You know what to do at the top. Okay? Now, hey, class.
Yes.
Listen as Miss Aycock is moving around the room. Oh, Tamara, did you hear Miss Aycock? We've practiced using these strategies before. What do you have right there on your desk with your paper?
Your text.
Your text. Alright? Put your name in there quickly. Yes, ma'am. You know what? You know that Miss Aycock some mornings makes an oopsie with the date. It is the 11th. Hey, Brown, thank you so much. Miss Aycock made that oops 2 days in a row, didn't she? It's all right. Thank you for the correction.
Did you go to sleep?
She did. Miss Aycock does need to be reminded about the day. Alright, hey class.
Yes.
Let's keep working. Now I want you to notice before I get you to work independently at your tables, alright? It tells you what pages to look at. Hey, those pencils. Hey, sister. Kind of busy with that pencil. Alright, hey class. It tells you what pages to look at for each question. Haven't we practiced using that strategy? If it tells us what pages, do we want to use those pages?
Yes.
Yes, alright. Okay, so our our first two questions are found on what pages?
18 and 19.
18 and 19. Our second two questions are found on
20 and 21.
It's important to pay attention to those directions, right? Alright, hey class.
Yes.
Let's quickly go over number 2 for just a second. If you can find number 2 on your paper. Hey, because we see that word adverb that we've talked about previously for just a little bit. Right? An adverb is a word that gives more detail about an action. Right? We talked about action verbs. So like right now, how's Miss Acock walking? Slowly. Didn't that adverb give you another detail about my action? Y'all with me? So I just wanted to remind you of that before you started working independently. What, sister? You're awfully busy with that pencil. Okay, I'm going to set a timer. I want you to be using your text to answer the questions independently. I like how I see Nora looking back in the text. Before we start writing our sentence down, let's read our questions, okay? It says, what do we see?
Very good.
Okay, where's the blood? Which one's the blood? Okay, alright, now, where is that image of this? Okay, now, hey, what do we see after the sentence? Look at your text and look at the image. What do we see after the sentence? But, oh, you have to tell me with words. What do we see? Oh, hey, can you say it with words? Okay, it is a flower blooming, but I want to know what these parts are. Petals, that's right. So how am I going to fill in this sentence? Read it. What did you see? What did you say you see? Okay. Right. You know where to find that word, right? I like how I'm seeing different sentences, and I like how I'm seeing so many of you restate words from the question in your writing. Right, everybody, are we finished with number 1? Okay, spread the love. Okay. You also have your sentence from right here. From what? You already wrote what you saw after a verb opens. Right, excellent. What word tells me? Is it open on this? No, how does it answer? What word did you just say? Didn't that explain how it opens? So you need to sign that one in your text and let it go on the page, okay? Just a quick time check. You have about 5 minutes left. If we need an extra minute or 2, it's okay. Alright? But let's stay productive. Very good. And look, and you restated words from the question. You remember I was working on that, right? Okay. We chose our adverbs. What adverb tells how to Excellent. You're doing great. Right now, Colton, what pages do we need to turn to next? Alright. Now you're going to read the question, and what are you going to use to find your answer? That's right. Okay? I'm going to come back and check on you. Oh, excellent. Yes? Don't Alright, I would like for you to go back in the text. You can either reread the 2 chapters from today, or you can move on to a chapter that we'll be reading in the future to get a little background knowledge. Alright? So if you are finished, you can move ahead. Sister Sadie, what are we doing? What word tells me how the flowers are? A future chapter. No, I didn't mean a new text like a new book. I meant a chapter that we haven't read yet. We've read the first several chapters. Yes. Well, you can even practice using the table of contents to find a topic that we have not read about yet, and go ahead and read it to get some of that background knowledge.
Excuse me, teachers. High school softball girls need to be released to have lunch.
Right? Hey class?
Hey, yes.
I see some people not being productive. When we're finished, we know we don't what?
Waste time.
Waste time. Thank you, Carson. We're efficient. So if you are a fast finisher, then you are going to read in your text. Okay? Because this entire text is about our whole topic in this module, all about plants. All right. Ladies, let's go. No, Beth. Sisters, you still have to write on number 2. You already told me what the effort was, baby. What are we going to write on the line? Okay. Damari. Fold that. Ariana, how are we reading? Is that why it's sticks to the we need to write that, right? Okay. Come on, you can do it, Nora. Use that detail to write a sentence on your paper. Nora, baby. You know the detail. You got it.
Needs to happen. They need to what? When they flowers, flowers, what's all this big thing? What is all that? Pollen? So yeah, there's pollen all around it. So when they flower, there's a flower.
Hey, class.
Hey, yes.
We've already used our 8 minutes. Miss Aycock is going to give you a few minutes more, but then we need to move on. So we're being productive. My table at the front.
They are doing
My table at the front. Miss Aycock has already said, how are we reading?
Efficient.
You are reading efficiently, but thank you, Carson, for the reminder. Quietly in your own head.
spray pollen from.
Mari and Lala, I want you to go ahead and both turn straight
Pollen.
so that maybe we can remember to read quietly. Right, we're reading our text now. We're reading our text.
Yeah, because pollen stick. That doesn't make sense.
Okay, you lift it up.
Pollen stick.
Slowly. Oh, we done that one. Don't overthink it. You got this, okay? Okay. Efficient. Efficient. Dakota, Ariana. Can't distract those that are still working beside us. Cindy, I'm so proud of you for following directions and reading quietly. Good job, sister. Hold on just a minute, Julie. Colin sticks it in so they can. So that's why it's six. So can we add that detail to our sentence starter? Okay. Yes, ma'am. That is an excellent sentence because you restated so many words from that question. Ma'am. Okay, now let's look over here. I think that we can find it in our text. When the pollen rubs off on other flowers, that's what we cross there. What is it called? You got it. You did it the whole time. See?
So we gotta say the sentence. So how do you restate the question? When pollen rubs off on another flower, what does it look like? Say that again.
Okay. Can you scoot all the way back and then push your chair in? Okay, you got it? Sorry. You got it, Colton. Good job. Okay. What does the pollen do after it sticks to the bee? What does it do? Look, the bee's flying to us. So what does it do? Okay, and after it sticks to the bee, what does it do? This one right now. We're being productive back here, ladies. Being productive. Hey, you think that you can find flowers in the text? Hey, but I do like, Dakota, how you were using a different use, the word still look kind of spelling word, okay? But the word flowers is in our text, right? Okay. Alright, hey class. Well, look at Miss Acock. Okay? If you have not finished, we will come back to that last question at the end, alright? But we have to move on because we need to work how? Efficiently. Alright, so hey class. Hands up, hands and eyes. Those pencils down. Alright. We can keep our materials out in front of us for now. Is everybody with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, still working efficiently. Alright, hey class.
Yes.
Miss Acock wants to remind you how well y'all have done at being researchers, right? We have really dove in deep to our text to learn a lot about plants, right? And we're going to continue to do so. We have persevered through some hard work, right? And we're going to continue to do that. What does persevere mean? That we do not give up, right? Okay, class?
Yes.
Come on. Thank you. Now, before we move on, I want to remind you of the setup of our Frayer models that we've been using. We have filled out one about plants, and we can see it over here on the board. Okay? You see Miss Acock's model on plants. And then we also have a model on seeds. Thank you for looking. All right, hey class.
Yes.
Let's remind ourselves of all of the different categories that we have on our model. We got hands and eyes? Okay. In our first box, we have the definition. That's just what it means, right? What plant means, what seed means. Then we have a visual. In that box, I put something that I can see, right? An image, an illustration. And then we have actual examples. Like, what's an example of a plant?
Orange.
An orange is an example of where we can get seeds. Look at my plant model. What's an example of a plant? An orchid, all right? We found that in the text, right? Hey, class?
Yes.
Our last box, which we put the most information in, is characteristics. That can be what something looks like. Maybe one of its parts. Maybe what that part does. Thank you for being with me, Ryder. Okay, I wanted to remind you of what information we put in each box before we move on to fill out another model. Is everybody with me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, hey class.
Yes.
Before we get started on our model, I want to point out our text features anchor chart one more time. We have gone through and we've learned how all of these parts of a text help me to be what kind of worker? Well, that question was confusing. How are we going to work? Say it again, Colton. Efficiently, right? Hey class.
Yes.
I really want to point you to the text feature. You're okay. Walk away. I want to point you to the text feature diagram and label because those are the two text features that we're really going to be zooming on and working with today. With me?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. Thank you for being on top of things. I can describe the characteristics of a flower using the Freyer model. Hey. Hey, class.
Hey, yes.
We have read this text before in lesson 2 all the way through, but we're going to be using it again today just to read a small excerpt. Remember, that just means a chunk of the text. And we're really going to be focusing on details about flowers. All right, I told you we've already done plants. We've already researched seeds. We are moving on to listen closely to flowers. Descriptions, characteristics, the meaning of flowers. All right, now, hey class. Just so that you can see the text clearly and so that you can write details on your post-its in a minute, I have put the text up on the board. Now, St. Cox is going to turn the front lights off so that you can see it more clearly. All right, are we good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now as we're reading pages 13 through 18, I want you to be thinking about how plants grow and survive. All right? So right here, remember I told you we're not reading the entire text. Carson, buddy? Thumbs up? Got this. It says next come flowers. I'm going to give you a second to really study those flowers closely. Think about how they look. All right, hey class.
Hey, yes.
Following along with Miss Aycock on the board, right? Some look like little suns. Some look like balls of fuzz. Some look like stars. Others look like bells, or bowls, or feathers. Some flowers have many petals. Some have none. They can be bright purple, or blue, or orange. They can be pale colors, or brown. But all these flowers have a secret. Hidden inside each flower are parts that can make a fruit. I know you would remember. Give flowers sun and soil and water and air. Give them pollen from the right plant, carried by wind or bee. If they get everything they need, flowers can grow into fruits. Here are flowers of rose, oak, pea, and tomato. Now can you tell which one is which?
I can.
Well, that's good, all right. Listen. Hey class.
Hey, yes.
I'm going to read just this first part about flower. And remember, you're still thinking about how plants grow and survive. It says flowers help the plant reproduce. When we think of a flower, we usually picture its petals. But other parts of the flower can grow into a fruit after the petals fall off. We know roses best in their flower stage. If you look at all four of these stages, though, we've learned now, and this is new information to Miss Acock, you still keep learning as an adult, that flowers, when roses, when the petals fall off, can grow into a fruit. So I want you to look at those four stages carefully. Isn't it important for them to get to all four stages? Just to review our learning. Oh, Carson, just to review our learning. What's inside of a fruit? What's in? Seeds. Carson, don't I need those seeds to make another plant? Right. Okay. Hey, class.
Yes.
Now's the time where you're going to get your two Post-it notes. There we go. Look, you're gonna take them apart because you're going to put a detail on each Post-it. Go ahead and put your name on each Post-it. Look, I like how Sydney took hers apart. She's neatly organizing them side by side. Okay, that's fine. I'm keeping them right here. You're welcome.
Excuse me, teachers, all softball girls need to be dismissed to the bus.
Alright, just your name. No. Alright, hey class.
Yes.
Now we're going to go back and reread pages 13 to 18. But I want you to be thinking about characteristics of flowers. One more time. That can be how flowers look, maybe parts of a flower, maybe what a flower can do, what it can grow into. Alright, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I want you to be paying attention to all of that as I reread. Now, while I'm reading and while the text is up on the board, I want you to write one characteristic on each Post-it note. For example, if we were talking about plants, and Miss Acock, we're reading about plants, on one Post-it note, what's my first characteristic on my model?
Different size.
Different sizes. Thank you, Nora. So on one Post-it note, I could have written different sizes. On another Post-it note, I could have written get sunlight and air. Okay? Do y'all understand what Miss Acock is saying? We're going to put one detail on each Post-it. Got
And
it?
you still have to write your bullet.
But excellent. Well, while let's say, remember we talked about when we take notes instead of complete sentences, what do we use? A bullet. That's excellent. Good practice. All right, hey class.
Yes.
All right, now keep your pencil ready as Miss Acock reads. Now, Colton, we're going to be listening for characteristics, right? Okay. Miss Acock is going back in the text. Where should you be looking?
And the tag.
Addison, where's the text at? Here, right? Okay. Well, hey class.
Yes.
We're in a new text, right, Ariana? And Miss Acock has it up on the board, right? Hey class.
Yes.
Good and close seed to plant. Okay? And we have our text up on the board. We're being efficient. Being efficient. Okay? You're listening and thinking about characteristics of a flower. Flower. Okay? It says next come flowers. This illustration can give you a characteristic here. Look at all of these flowers. They are. But Dakota, do they all look the same? No, they don't. So what? All kinds. Okay, all kinds. So there could be a characteristic right there. If you need to spell the word different, where could you find that word? On one of the charts on the board. Thank you. We know to use the resources in our range. Okay. All right, Miss Acock is moving on. Okay, if you're writing, jot that note down quickly and then eyes back on the board. Some look like little suns. Some look like balls of fuzz. Some look like stars. Others look like bells or bowls or feathers. Some flowers have many petals. Some have none. They can be bright purple or blue or orange. They can be pale colors or brown. And all these flowers have a secret. So we have at least one characteristic from this page, really two that we could be writing. Hey, Bo, what's something that's different about all of these flowers? But tell me something how they are different. Hey, you're fine. Tell me how something is different. What's different about all of them? Okay, so what can I write? Oh, we're making a note. We don't have to write a complete sentence on this, right? And we're taking a note. So what can I write? Different. That's it. That's it. Get it, hey, we need to write on the side this time. Okay, just write on those, write one note. You didn't need a bunch of bullets, just one. Just one. I like it. Okay. Hey, what's something that's different about all the flowers on that board? Okay, all right. So, different petals. Oh, Carson, stick with me, buddy. Come on. Give me six. I love how you even talk about something that it does and not just what it looks like. Excellent.
You doing good?
Alright. Hidden inside each flower are parts that can make a fruit. I like how Ariana's back with me. Give flowers sun and soil and water and air. Give them pollen from the right plant, carried by wind or bee. If they get everything they need, flowers can grow into fruits. Here are flowers of rose, oak, pea, and tomato. Now can you tell which is which? Alright, hey class.
Yes.
Alright, let's share some of the characteristics that we've written down. So maybe some of us that are having trouble can get an idea to write on our own post-it, okay? Let's go back to the image. Hey class,
Yes.
look at all of these flowers on this image. Do they look the same? No. So flowers can be different what? Shapes. They can be different sizes. Flowers can be different colors. There we go. Those are three characteristics right there, correct? Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right, hey class?
Yes.
Let's remember that characteristics can also be something that the flower does. Do all flowers just stay flowers forever? No. Nora, sometimes flowers grow into a fruit. Is that a characteristic of a flower? It is. I was so proud of Carson for having that characteristic on his post-it. Excellent job. Yes.
They're in different locations.
Ooh, they are. They grow in different locations. I like it. Good. And we got that from the text. Hey class.
Yes.
Quick thumb if you have written on two post-its. Okay? Okay. So you just said quick one thumb. Let's be efficient tomorrow. Alright, sister, what do you write that on one? Okay, that's one type of flower. What did we say look at all of those flowers on that image? What's something that's different about all of them? Do all of them look the same? What's different about all of those flowers? Ma'am? Okay, but you've already written that. Baby, what's something that's different about all of those flowers up there? They look different in lots of ways. So what did I say? Different. You got it. See there? See there? We can find some of those words from other charts in our room. Oh, what did you put, Perry, to share with everybody? Okay, alright. We could also, right, we learned in our other text, remember we can always use details from any of the texts we've used in our lesson. What else did we learn in this text that flowers have? That's very important.
Pollen?
Pollen. Thank you, Colton. Excellent. We need that pollen for pollination. All right, class?
Yes.
Oh, I like that, Carson. Very efficient. Okay. We've written our two characteristics. Now, I want you to focus in on the information right here at the top of this page. We got this. It says, flowers help the plant reproduce. Miss Acock put a bright yellow line underneath the word reproduce because that word is
Important.
important. Okay, class?
Yes.
Mir?
Mir.
Reproduce.
Reproduce.
Oh, we're going to try one more time. We're going to try again. Mir?
Mir.
Reproduce.
Reproduce.
To make
To make
a new plant.
a new plant.
See how I'm becoming a new plant? Okay? Alright, so it says flowers help the plant reproduce. So that means flowers help to make a new plant. Thank you. Okay, class?
Yes.
Do you think that that's important?
Yes.
Alright. If not, we would end up not having any plants, right? Are you with me? Alright, finish up on those post-its. We're moving on.
Mommy got it.
Alright, hey class.
Yes.
I want you to listen to this paragraph one more time, and I want you to be thinking, what did you learn from this page that helped us to answer our research question? I love how Perry looks over there. She's like, oh, and my boy's right here too. So nice. What did you learn from this page that helps us answer our research question? How do plants grow and survive? All right, listening to this paragraph one more time. Flowers help the plant reproduce. When we think of a flower, we usually picture its petals. But other parts of the flower can grow into a fruit after the petals fall off. We know roses best in their flower stage. Okay, so what we learned from this paragraph right here, how does that help us answer the question, how do plants grow and survive? What part are we focusing on right now? Flower. I want you to think about that definition we just said. What does reproduce mean? To
Make a new
make a new plant, all right? So, how do plants grow and survive? What's one part that they need? Explain it to me, give me detail. Got some thinkers, Carson? They do. And Carson, that is a detail that we've learned previously, right? I want you to be thinking about a detail that's in this text right now, okay? All right? So who can help and add on to what Carson said? Ariana?
They need sunlight
What?
and
They do. Hey, class?
yes.
Let me say, I'll remind you, I said in this paragraph right here, right? Okay? What's an important part of the plant that helps it to grow and survive? Lila?
Flower.
Why? Explain it.
Because when the petals fall off, it makes a new plant, basically.
Okay.
It makes a new fruit.
Okay. And what's inside of the fruit?
Seeds.
Okay. And the
Makes a
seeds?
new plant.
There we go. Hey, class?
Yes.
I hope we were all listening to Lila's explanation. Hey, Lila, could you stand and tell everybody loud and clearly one more time? Look. Mission.
The flower helps the plant grow and survive because when it makes a new fruit, the fruit has a seed in it and it makes a new plant.
Excellent. All right. So, hey, class. What Lila is saying that flowers can help a plant. What was that new word? Reproduce. And what does it mean? To make a new plant. Excellent. So, are flowers important?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. We've already talked about our notes. All right. Hey, class.
Yes.
We're getting there. Hey, class.
Yes.
As researchers, sometimes we don't get enough information. We don't get enough information from just one text. Ava, okay, we can finish that post in a minute, okay? Look at the sofa. We're good. We're good. Camps? Okay. As researchers, sometimes we don't get all of the details that we need, Sid, from one text, right? In that text, we got more details with words, okay? Remember, in our Freyer model, what goes in this box right here? Something we can see, like an image, a diagram, an illustration. Alright, so in that text, there really wasn't one with very much detail. So Miss Acock pulled a diagram from another text from Seed to Plant, but I made it really nice and big so we could all see it, okay? So Acock's going to hit the lights, both of them. Alright, hey class?
Yes.
Okay, this is very important. We're going to be taking details from this. What do we call this? Something that shows us the parts?
Labels.
Well, it has labels.
Diagram.
A diagram. Thank you, Nora. We're going to be paying close attention to this diagram and all of the different parts of a flower before we build our model. Hey class?
Yes.
Stay with me, okay? We're almost there. We're going to get to build a model. Okay? I want you to listen closely while you're looking at the diagram. Before a seed can begin to grow, a grain of pollen from the stamen must land on the stigma at the top of the pistil of a flower like a cell. This is called pollination. Alright? So we talked in the other text about how pollination is important, correct? Everybody with me? Alright? Okay? Now this diagram and this text right here are showing me how all of this works together. Is everybody with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so it says a grain of pollen from the stamen. Do you see that if stamen right here is pointing to this, what are all of these? Stamens. Okay? Alright, it says a grain of pollen from the stamen, right here, must land on the stigma. Do you see how this right here is the stigma? Okay, is everybody with me? Alright, and then it says this is called pollination. Okay, Ms. Acock is going to pull up a very large image in just a minute when we build our model. Look, come on, let's do this. I can build a model of a flower and label its parts. Got it. Alright, as researchers, those are the kind of people we're being. Sometimes we look for answers in a text. Alright, we ask our own questions. Come on, buddy. Come on. Alright? Today, as researchers, we're going to be making a model. Okay? The class?
Yes.
Mirror.
Mirror.
A model
A model
is a small copy of something.
is a small
Kind of like we've learned about maps and globes in here. A globe is a model. A globe is a model. Is it really as big as the earth? No, it's a small copy of the earth. So today, we're going to be making a small copy of a flower. That's what our learning target said, right? Okay, let's answer this question quickly. What idea from our notes can we help explain by making a model of a flower? Look at your notes. What idea or what detail from our notes can we help explain by making a flower? Ryder?
different colors.
Okay, different colors.
Different locations.
Okay, probably not with this model, but I like how you looked back in your notes. Ariana?
Oh, shapes.
Alright, probably not in this model. What about this? Okay, could we show that flowers have, what are these?
Petals.
Petals, right? Different colors, yes, but then we could also show that they have petals. Alright. Could we also show the parts of a flower that help it to make a new plant? There you go, Nora. Exactly. Okay, hey class.
Yes.
I want you to be getting your glue stick out as Miss Acock passes out. Up. You're creating a flower model. materials at your workspace to create a model of a flower. Oh, hey class.
Yes.
A model is a
Small.
very good, a small copy of something. After we make our model, remember this is like our diagram that we're making. Nora, what does every diagram need? Label. So once we have built our model, then we are going to label each word, each part using words from the bank at the bottom. Everybody got it? All right, Miss Aycock is going to quickly pass out your materials. Okay, now you need to keep your materials organized in your own space and not get them mixed up with your neighbors. Hey class, go ahead and take your materials out. Oh, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I'll pass it. I'll pass it. Alright, hey class. Before we actually build our model, let's look at the 4 parts that we're actually going to be labeling. Alright, I want you to look down in your word bank. What's that first word in your word bank? Petals. The next word? Stamen. The next word? Stigma. And the last word? Pollen. So if all of those 4 words are in my word bank, then all of those 4 parts are going to have to be in my model, right? Okay, hey class. I want you to look closely. Miss Aycock used a glue stick just like you would be using. Alright, and as long as you use your glue stick correctly, you will be able to create a model just like Miss Aycock. I didn't use any special glue. Okay? Now, what material at your space was used to make the petals? The tissue paper. Alright? So, you get to choose how you're going to lay your flower out. Alright? But go ahead and get started making your flower with your petals. With your petals. Oh, you got it? Look, that's perfect. Hey, we know how to go all on the outside.
I want to lay flat instead of putting on the end because it's up to you.
Guys, you get to choose how your flower, how your petals are laid out on the paper. What did we learn? Flowers are all what? Different. Okay? That's right, but it does need to resemble a flower, right? Because we are making a flower.
So it can't be all straight.
Alright, hey, we want to make sure to use plenty of glue to make sure it sticks, okay? We want to make sure to keep it inside of the box, too.
I kind of got out of the box.
A little bit out of the box is fine. We just don't want to be all the way out of the box. Like, we don't want to be hanging on the paper.
Like more.
Okay? Let's worry about our own space. Alright. Hey, class. Once you are finished getting all of your petals onto your model, you can use the diagram on the board to build the rest of your flower. Now, what are all of those little yellow pieces? Pollen. There we go. And that sticky powder until you use them. That's a smart choice. That's a smart choice. What? How are we supposed to be working? Efficiently. Efficiently. Here. Put a line on the paper. Look, you've got your 3 petals on your paper. Yay. Now, you're gonna know how to smile. Ava, this is looking great.
I'm gonna put this great
That's right. Okay, let's put it over.
I need an example of yours.
Lila, you have an example up on the paper. Remember. Look, hey class,
Yes.
I want you to pay close attention and you think about how many of each material you have, alright? Do you see all of these? What do we call these? They are the stamens, okay? And there are several stamens. So what do you have several of in your bag that could be the stamens? The string, the yarn, right, Nora? Alright, so look at the diagram closely and then look at your materials and figure out what you can use for which part. Oh my goodness, Lila.
Me either.
No yarn? Well, Alexis,
I got yarn.
most people do. They might double check those bags. Okay? No problem, Alexis. Miss Aycock has some yarn to cut you quickly.
Oh my god.
Oh, Carson.
I'm never good at one of these strings.
Hey class,
Yes.
we're building our models efficiently.
Oh, we just have 4. It's
Okay,
fine.
got it.
Is this how you're supposed to do it?
That's great. That's great. Okay, thank you.
She asked me if.
Hey class,
Yes.
let's stay focused. Alright, come on, Maybelline. Hey, hey, will we be able to wash that glue off in a little bit? So it's gonna be sticky, we're gonna keep working and building our model, and we'll take care of that at the end of our lesson. Alright, now tomorrow, let's notice, are all of my stamen on only one side of this part of the flower? Okay, alright, so think about this as you're building your model. Okay, Ariana, don't press too hard because it will make it pop off. Press it just firmly enough to make it stick, and then leave it alone so it'll dry.
I didn't know.
These models are looking great. All right, Colton, good job. Keep going. I know it's a little sticky. Oh, I like how we're being innovative. Some of us are putting the glue down and then sticking the yarn on it. That's good. That can be a little bit easier when you've got such small pieces to work with. Hey, baby, you're okay.
Well, blue don't hurt you.
Hey, as soon as we finish, Miss Acock will give you a little glue, okay? I mean, give you a little glue. I'll give you a little German. Hey, did you make sure to put your glue all the way across? Hey, but look, it is possible. You wanna know why Miss Acock built one? Partly to give you an example, and the other part to make sure that you could actually use just a regular old glue stick. And this is exactly what Miss Acock used, a purple glue stick, just like this. Look, you can't move it all around, you just gotta press it firmly to make it stick, and then let it go, see? Don't roll it all around. It's okay, baby. You will get that glue and get it like this. Look, here's your word back. Okay. Alright, Colton, are you sure that you're paying close attention to this diagram? Okay, alright, finish up. Put your
This is gonna all
Oh, I apologize. I thought it fell through. Alright, hey class. We only have a few minutes left. movement are going, all right? You're really making your model look realistic. Hey class,
Hey, yes.
I love how Alexis has finished her model and she is already labeling her parts like we have done in previous lessons. She is drawing a line to those parts and labeling them with words from the box. Alexis, way to be super productive back there. I'm so proud of you, Carson. Hey guys, we're building a model, all right, the best we can. Okay. Excellent. Ma'am. There it is. See? What? All right, Ava, you gotta finish up, baby. Hey, you know what some people are doing? They put glue right here. That's the thing. Oh, Carson, what did we do? Can you show me correctly now, Carson? Excellent. And look at your labels. Carson, what are these? Petals. Okay. Do you remember what we call the yellow sticky stuff? What's the yellow sticky stuff? Now, what's this part? Sticky. Alright, and then what are these parts? Kind of a tough new one. Statement. You were close. Carson, excellent job, buddy. Alright, hey class. When you finish your model and you have labeled your parts, okay, Miss Acock, if you're a fast finisher, you can sketch a flower up in the corner of your box, okay? Haven't we also practiced in previous lessons sketching a realistic plant or a part of a plant? So if you're finished building your model, you can go on to sketch one, right, if you were a fast finisher. Oh, baby, it's okay. It's okay.
Where's the last one, Jack?
Hey class, we are almost finished with this lesson. We need to be efficient workers, finish these models up, and you should be labeling your parts at this time. We should be finished with our model, and we should be labeling the 4 parts from the word bank. Okay.
Teachers, please excuse the interruption. Please allow all paid FCA members to come to the meeting in the auditorium. Thank you.
I don't see you labeling your sketch. I mean, you were supposed to point to, you were supposed to write the words and label. Lila, haven't we talked about how, do you remember our sketch from a previous lesson? How we wanted to put that label as close to the part as we could, right? Okay, hey, let's be efficient. Oh, hey class?
Yes.
We're late.
Here, baby. You're working on your own model, right? Hey class?
Yes.
Where's the best place to look to label all of the parts on your model as well? Where's the best place to look? On the board. Thank you. The board right here points to all of my different parts that I'm labeling. That's what Miss Acock has it on the board to use as a guide. the parts. You have labels on the diagram on the board, right? Okay. Okay, now labels. Guys, you don't actually have to write on the pedals either. Problem solving. Emma, baby, let's get those parts labeled.
Emma, I told you to quit erasing your stuff.
Emma, label those parts, sweetheart. Your model looks wonderful. Looks wonderful. Takeda, what can I use to find the stigma? My diagram on the board, right? Do you see stigma and what it's pointing to? Do you see the word stigma on the diagram? Okay, can you point to that on your paper and write stigma? Okay, right, so let's find a place to make an arrow and label the stigma. Hey class?
Hey, yes.
I love that Carson is going back and finishing his last question on his workbook page. Now that he is finished with his label. Now that he is finished with his label. Alright, hey class?
Hey, yes.
If you have not quite finished your model, we will finish that at the end of the lesson. Alright, but our time is up. Oh, hey class?
Hey, yes.
Okay. Alright. Ladies up. Okay, we created our model. Our model was our diagram, right? And what does every diagram need?
Label.
Labels. Hey class?
Hey, yes.
Let's look at our question right here. Hey class?
Hey, yes.
It says, how did you take initiative to learn new information about plants today? All right? Throughout our entire lesson, from answering questions in our text, all right, to writing down details in our post-its. Hey class?
Hey, yes.
How did you take the initiative to learn new information about plants today? What did you do? Give me a thumb if you can tell me. How did you take initiative? Hey class?
Hey, yes.
That's one of our words that we've used all year. Oh, let's refresh our memories. Initiative means knowing something needs to be done and
You do it.
doing it. All right. So how did you take initiative today, Ariana?
We did not waste time.
Okay. We tried our best not to waste time, right? Hey class.
Hey, yes.
Was that taking initiative in our learning? It was. Excellent answer. We did not waste time. We've been working on that. Alexis, how did we take initiative to learn about plants today? Hey class.
Hey, yes.
Well, I want you to be thinking about how you took control of your lesson. Are you worried about your model? Your model looks so realistic. It looks wonderful. Look up. Hey, hey. Do you have a water bottle? Did you bring a water bottle today? Okay. All right. I need you to step outside for a minute. Okay. Go to the restroom. Get a wet towel. Got your face. Your model is wonderful. Alright, hey class?
Hey, yes.
Let's finish up. How did anybody else know that we needed to learn about plants today and they didn't? I want you to think about these right here. Think about these right here. How did you take initiative in learning about plants today? Damari?
We took initiative
Oh.
by
Say that again, because I you used words from my question?
We took initiative by writing sentences without you, writing parts of it in.
Okay, excellent. You know what Damari said? Y'all took the initiative by writing details about plants down all on your own. Was that you doing your work? Yes. Hey, class.
Hey, yes.
Alright, we have one last thing to wrap up our lesson. Now, I want to tell you, in our next lesson, in lesson 8, we're going to be doing the same thing that we did today, except for we're going to be filling out a model about fruits. Alright? So before we do that, Miss Acock would like for you to do a little self-check. Because in our next lesson, we'll be going on to read in different parts of the text about fruits. So I want you to be thinking about how you had to collect details from the text today and write them on a Post-it. Hey, class.
Hey, yes.
We're persevering to the end. We are almost there. All right? Now, as I'm passing it out, I want you to be putting your name on the name line and looking at the different marks on the list. Today, after our lesson, if you feel like number 3, I've got this, I can teach it to others, you'll check that box. On number 2, if you feel like I'm starting to understand, but I need more practice, check that box. If you feel like number 1, I don't understand yet, I need help, check that box. Okay? But after our learning today, I want you to think about how well you performed, all right? And I want you to check whichever one is you. 3, I've got this, I can teach it to others. 2, I'm starting to understand, but I need more practice. Or 1, I don't understand yet, I need help. That way, Miss Acock, before our next lesson, okay, we'll know if we need some more support. What? Hey, class?
Hey, yes.
Make sure you put your name and make sure you check a box.
It's one.
What, Miss Acock? Oh, I don't need to see it, Carson. Miss Acock has not done well with that today, has she? Alright, hey class,
Hey, yes.
when you're finished, can you go ahead and start making a nice and neat pile of your materials like normal? Now will you,